Joining me now to discuss is Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Congresswoman, it's always great to see you. Merry Christmas. Unlike most leftists, you actually apologized for something you said. I know nobody's perfect. For the folks who don't know what transpired, tell us what happened between you and controversial Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Sure. Well, I did make a statement to the Muslim community, and I'm happy to catch you up on what happened. But really, I do want to make it a priority to take a moment and thank the millions of Americans, especially my constituents who have shown their love and support for me over the last few days. I've received positive calls, emails, and letters, and they've meant the world to me. I've received a couple of calls from President Trump, and I really want to say thank you to everyone. It has just meant so much to me. Of course, I've received similar phone calls to the one that Ilhan Omar presented at her so-called press conference. And I do want to say that that's absolutely out of line. The death threats that come to members of Congress, it's unnecessary, but this is why I support our brave men and women in law enforcement. So they are there to actually do something about these crazy people who make these threatening phone calls. But Chris, the truth is, I've moved on from this controversy. I've made a public statement. I made a personal phone call to Ilhan to make things right. She hung up on me, really showing her character. Of course, you've heard she rejected my attempt to make amends and ended the call. So I've moved on. The 3rd District didn't vote me into office because I'm perfect. They voted me in because I promised to fight for their freedoms and secure their rights. And that's exactly what I'm focused on. Chris, I'm also focused on delivering results for my constituents back home. And we have to get these American priorities back in order. Energy production needs to be back on track. Active forest management. We have a supply chain crisis. We have an invasion at our southern border. And the list goes on and on. But the Democrat playbook is to get caught up in these distractions because they do not have policy to run on for the American people.
Well, as we just showed in the preamble, a lot of the Socialist Democrats who have been calling for violence and doing a lot of these things, they didn't have the class that you showed in making an apology. Many of them have not apologized for what they have done. Let me give you another example. The latest example of violence comes from Senator Jeanne Shaheen. Here she is calling for a, quote, revolution if Roe versus Wade is overturned.
I think if you want to see a revolution, go ahead, outlaw Roe v. Wade, and see what the response is of the public, particularly young people.
Now, if these Socialist Democrats want to punish you in any way, if they were consistent, if they were credible, wouldn't they punish their own, like Socialist Senator Jeanne Shaheen there?
Absolutely. But as the saying goes, if the Democrats did not have double standards, they would have no standards at all. I have been calling them out on their hypocrisy since I arrived in Washington, D.C., and that's exactly what I will continue to do. So when it comes to me, redemption actually means something to me. As a Christian woman, redemption and forgiveness, those are the pillars to my faith. And so maybe redemption and forgiveness don't mean as much to those on the other side of the aisle as they do to me. I didn't apologize to the Muslim community to appease Ilhan Omar or the rest of the squad. I did that for me and my faith, my constituents, the people I was here to serve. And I certainly don't want to offend anyone's religious beliefs. But that's where I'm coming from personally. And I don't think that we have those same standards on the other side of the aisle. I see how vile and disgusting the comments are, the anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti-police rhetoric that comes from the other side on a regular basis. In fact, that's why Ilhan Omar hung up on me. She was demanding more of a public statement from me. And because what I did wasn't good enough, she wanted me to come crawling to her on my knees, begging for forgiveness. And when I pushed back on that, I said, if there's going to be a public statement, it needs to come from you to the American people for your anti-American, anti-Semitic, anti-police rhetoric. And now she is receiving, unfortunately, the worst of threats to her office. And in the meantime, the past couple of years, she has spent that time demonizing the men and women in blue who will protect her from those very threats. I want them to be fully funded, and I want them to be here for us all.
No, it's true. She is actually trying to defund the very people who would actually protect her. Of course,
Yes.
she's got enough money now to where she can afford to protect herself, unlike her constituents who don't have that kind of coin. I wanted to get to you to weigh in on the constitutional crisis at our southern border. Team Biden finally agreeing to follow a Supreme Court order to re-implement the Remain in Mexico policy. This after Mr. Biden has allowed millions of illegal aliens to cross the border into our nation this year, many of them with the China virus. Should the Republican Party have made a stronger stand, in your view, in particular for the Constitution and the separation of powers, particularly in the Senate? I mean, we're told that the Constitution is a pretty big deal to Senate Republicans. What do you think? Should they have made a stronger stand over there where they have some power?
Well, you know, we are seeing one party rule for 1 year, and this is what has come to bear. We've all come to bear from that. Of course, we would always like to see more of a fight, especially in the Senate. We have some fantastic senators there, but we need more of them. And I would say in the House, that's the same. We have great representatives who want to do a good job and govern for the American people and protect the American people, but we don't have the numbers to do that. We're just 5 short. And so, you know, January 20th, construction of the border wall was canceled by the Biden regime. And that's not saving any American any money. There's nearly $5 million each day that is spent in contracts to build the wall that is not being built. So they're not saving us anything by not building this wall. We're having 2 million illegal aliens pour into our country, invade our country. And that's why I have legislation like the We're Not Paying You to Break Our Laws Act, because now there's talk of illegal aliens getting $450,000 a piece for breaking our laws and coming into our country. So there's a lot that's taking place, and the American people are the ones who are being punished. There is a Fauci-funded Chinese virus that has taken over the world, and we have an open southern border and a complete invasion taking place. No vaccine mandates, no testing. People are shipped anywhere in the United States that they say they know someone. And meanwhile, our children are masked in school. People are still unemployed, losing their jobs, losing their businesses. And then, of course, the unconstitutional medical mandates that are coming from this regime, these vaccine mandates. I've had military personnel, even in my office just today, talking about how many people will retire from their active service positions because of these mandates. This is a national security threat.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.